And we're live. I think we're live. Why so dark? All right. Morning thoughts. Morning thoughts. Morning thoughts. Shout out to the people going out to work this morning. Let's shout out Seymour for being the first one here this morning and Great Goodies for being right there as well. Shout out to the people going out to work this morning. Shout out to the people coming in from work this morning. Extra special big up shout out to the people who work multiple jobs. I have the utmost respect for you. Shout out to my entrepreneurs, my stay-at-home moms and pops, my retirees. Shout out to the drivers, the Uber driver, the Lyft driver, the truck driver, taxi driver, food delivery drivers, round town and long distance truck drivers. Shout out to every single clean-hearted, good-hearted person who wants good for others as much as you want good for yourself. A good person. Shout out to you. Manners and respect to everybody tuning in this beautiful Monday morning. It's time to get up, get out, and go get something progressive and productive and progressive. And we say, what? Your free paper bun up. Your your weekend done. Like when it's time for picnic to go back to school. Some of us had to work all through the weekend, right? And you didn't have a weekend off. God bless you. But your weekend soon come. If it's during the middle of the week, just treat it like it's Friday afternoon and Saturday and Sunday and enjoy it just the same. Not sure? Well, we haven't forgotten about you. Anyhow, let me put on my glasses and block some of these lights in here. My eye's getting better. For those who are concerned, as you can see, that was this eye. It's getting better. We're getting there. We're getting there. And I like how my eyes are looking now because they don't have that thing on them anymore. So I actually look like I'm looking rather cute, I must say. I mean, I talk to myself if I was a woman, but I couldn't say that. Anyhow, we put on this one cha foolishness. I hear beer. Why? Why and why? Here we are this morning, family. I'm gonna shout out everybody, or as many people as I can before we get started. But before we do that, these are the topics we have on the table this morning. So, Beaches boys not being truthful. Yeah, you know, Friday, I went away for the weekend, right? Told you I was gonna be gone for the weekend. Beaches, bro, sis. Before me start here, beer, why? Beaches boy not being truthful, man. I went away for the weekend, and oh, I have a nice vlog coming that I suggest that you watch. It's about going away this weekend and where the family, me and the family was, and all these things. For those of you who are on the live, you got to see like a little piece of the location where we were and all that. Well, I did a whole vlog of the entire place that we were at. So people always asking me whether it's in Jamaica or here, wherever I go, they're like, SouFlo, send me the link to that place, that last place you stayed at, right? I want to stay somewhere like that because I do vet my sources and I do stay in safe places and these kind of things. It's always safe and it's always nice unless I can't avoid spur of the moment thing or if I'm on a work contract, then you don't have no choice. More time you have to just get in and get that money and bear the situation until you get out. But if I'm traveling and it's with the family, the locations are usually beautiful and they're well secured and all these things. So people always reach out because they want to stay in these locations too because they're in those areas that I frequent. So this weekend, no different. I found a beautiful location this weekend, and I'm gonna keep link with those people. And I think I'm gonna share it with you as well for those who might want to. It's good price range and everything else. But we talk about all that when that video come out. See, this morning we're gonna talk about Beaches boy not being truthful. Because I was away over the weekend, being busy with the family and stuff like that, I didn't get to watch the court case trial day 5 on the live. So the people who normally see me in the comment section, they didn't see me on the comment section Friday. Friday I was traveling, right? We had a funeral. My auntie passed away. God bless our soul. But I made sure that I dedicated my time to watching that entire thing and taking notes so I can keep you abreast with what is going on. I have 5 pages of notes here for you. 4 pages of notes is really like 7 pages back and front, couple of these pages. 7, 8 pages of notes right here for you. Beachy boy not being truthful. I'll tell you now before we go into that part of the show, things not add up. Things not adding up. But we'll go to that soon. Ghost guns are running the place. So they just did a large gun bust in Jamaica. You know, this has become our thing now. Where some people don't even. I get tired of these. I get tired of the murder stories. I get tired of the gun stories. It burns you out, literally. It make me sit on here so literally and don't even feel like doing morning thoughts sometimes. If that's the headline, I'm like, I forgot to find something else to talk about. Cause this now is so redundant, you know, it's guns and murder, murder and guns, and more guns coming in and more murders piling up, and more guns and more murder and murder and guns. And after a while, it's like spiritually, you can't deal with it. You need to like release it, give it a break. Anyhow, it's still important to keep everybody abreast as to what's going on. So we're all in the know. That means nobody can run nothing past you because you know what's going on, right? So we're going to talk about these ghost guns. They did a large gun bust recently on the island, guns coming in from overseas. I think these came in from the United States of America and they were intercepted. But they're learning something now about these new guns that are coming in. This spells nothing but more trouble for Jamaica and more trouble for law enforcement officials in Jamaica, more trouble for us, the regular citizens, as well. Usain Bolt's money. Usain Bolt said he gave them 10 days. Give me back my money in 10 days or face a lawsuit and all other things. I told y'all before he even said all that. I said that his money is going to be difficult to recover and quite possibly he might not get back a penny out of that money there. Well, we're still chasing the money. And you need to hear this story about what happened to the man money. I mean, this story just continues to get weirder and weirder and weirder. I'm sure somebody is sitting down with pen and paper like this could be a Netflix series, you know, because of who it is and who it happened to. And then go down that rabbit hole. Remember, I know FBI was called in. I don't know if the FBI accepted the task, but we will see. All right. And there's a young lady called Khanice Jackson. When Khanice Jackson's situation first occurred, we did the first 2 or so videos on her case from when she went missing to when she was found to the conditions she was found in till who was arrested. This is another one of following up with these stories. Like when we say like, comment, share, and subscribe, don't forget to hit that bell so you're notified when new videos or updates are posted. So we update the stories that we follow, that we do, so you keep abreast with those stories as well. So nobody asked me, so Flo, what happened to that girl that at one time that when you did cover, remember her name, Candice, because we always update the story them. Unless nothing not happened yet and we're still waiting for more. See, so we're going to talk about the Candice Jackson case and give an update on that as well. That's where we're at for this morning, Monday morning. Shout out to the people I'm going out to get their daily bread this morning, being very progressive and productive because we don't like lazy people at all. At all. If you're lazy, me don't like you. Seymour, big up yourself. Thank you for being here. Great goodies. Thank you for being here. Kirk Gordon, welcome and thank you for being here. Good morning, fam. Vicky Victory is in the building this morning. Brahmo Wright, my sister, big up yourself. Thank you for being here. Blessed Monday morning to you, little bro, and to all my hashtag Flow family. Big up on yourself. Audrey Wright's in the building this morning. Morning, fam, and present teacher. Dainty D is in the building. Dainty D, big up yourself. Janet Stewart's in the building this morning. Prellis123. Darling Walter Riley. Crystal G is in the building this morning. Senior Sexy is here. Mrs. Michelle Banton is in the building this morning. Marilyn Grant is here this morning. Big up yourself, Virtuous Fire. Wayne Nathan. Stacey Ann Williams. Real G. Charma D Star. King Biggs, Wagwan. Big up yourself. Morning, fam. Sharon Spence is here. BM, Mr. Article Don. Little Red Gucci too. I haven't seen you in the room in a while. I hope all is well with you. Thank you for being here. I know you passed through more times and whatnot, but I appreciate you being here. Reggae Girl Bento, big up yourself. Thank you for being here. Karen Notice. DR. Sharon Ingram, Brickhouse, Purple Royal. Donna Davis is in the building this morning. Nicole Coleman is in the building this morning. Let me pause for a second. Somebody says, SouFlo, we can't take the part where y'all call out name and big up everybody for so long. Just get to the story, man. You know that that's somebody that doesn't have membership for the channel, so naturally their name never get called. So of course, if their name never get called, right? It's like I big up all them people and I can't stand this. I take too long. Just get to the story, man, cause me don't have time, is what he said. Cause me don't have time, brother. These people deserve them big up. Okay, they're like really faithful and they're here. I owe them. Right. So with that said, Nicole Coleman, big up yourself. Thank you for being here. Reggae Girl Bento, Nikki B, Virtuous Fire, Karen Notice, Dorothy T. All right, may I repeat name now? Bravo Right, Marcia Walters, Patsy Barron, big up on yourself. Thank you for being here. All right, let's get right on with this thing this morning. Boy, we have a lot to be thankful for. He always late to class. Who Bex? Them have a problem. You call up all them name there, big up everybody. Star, me not have enough time. Hello. Hi. If your name was up here, you would love to hear your name call a man in time too. It's roll call. See, the family is on deck. All right, where do we start out? Let's start out with the Beachy. I keep saying Beachy stout because you know Beachy is in the same boat as his son. But the Andre Mcdonald Day 5, you need to hear this. The story, this trial, boy, this is a novel. This thing is a up and down and a twist and turn. And let's run through some of the lesser stuff first before though. Let's start off with Usain Bolt money. I think that's very interesting, right? Usain Bolt's money. Now remember I said to you, I said, what if Usain Bolt's own people conspired to thief him money along with personnel from SSL? Remember me did say that? Okay. And then it came out to be something like that. Remember, I also said that the, let's just get into this story. All right. Remember I said, yeah, I said, what if Bolt's money actually never made it? You know, like I trust you, right? So I'll be like, I'm Usain Bolt, I'm very busy. Here is a big stash of money. Invest that for me. You tell me about the little SSL thing. I like it. I like the idea how it sounds. Here, I'm entrusting you with that money. And you know, just cut with the money. And then you conspire with somebody to make up a fake account and all these things, which you will show me every time I come in when the money ain't really there, right? Well, they did a report update on that and proved that the money did go there and he did have a account as established at SSL. However, this article is called Lightning Fast. Lightning Fast because boy, them chop you see, and they might as well they chop him with a meat chopper or a machete. Them chop him hard, man. The, Lightning Fast is the name of the article because that's how fast they said his money went in and came back out. Lightning Fast. Listen to this. Jamaican track and field icon. Shout out to the Jamaica Observer. Jamaica track and field icon Usain Bolt. First pumped 6.5 million US dollars into the investment firm Stocks and Securities Limited between 2012 and 2017. First, 6.5 mil up front. But almost as soon as the money was deposited, it was removed out of the account without his knowledge. A Jamaica Observer probe has uncovered that Usain Bolt invested 6.2 million in SSL in 2012 through a limited liability company named Welligen, which is believed to be an amalgamation of the first names of his parents, Wellesley and Jennifer Bolt. Oh man. Another 900,000 US was added to Bolt's account by 2017. But 5.8 million was withdrawn from his account starting that same 2012 through checks and cash. And he didn't do any of that. In addition, 900,000 US dollars, which was lodged in the account between 2019. That's another 900,000 US and upon up on the other 900,000 that went in before. Another 900,000 US dollars, which was lodged in the account between 2019 and 2022. That was quickly withdrawn as soon as it was put in as well. Now, Bolt had an individual around him who Bolt parted ways with in 2022, in December of 2022, and it made front page news because people were saying this is the person who had always handled his affairs for how many years, and it's kind of suspicious that suddenly they parted ways. Then came January, and then came this big scandal. It turns out that that same person is whose signature is seen on paperwork of monies that grew feet and walked away. So the source provided the observer with a portfolio holdings and liability statement bearing SSL's logo, allegedly sent to Usain Bolt team in September of 2022, which showed fixed income of US 3,714 what? $3,714. No, fixed income of $3,714.58, equities of $7,415, and cash of 918,000 US dollars. I don't know who write the article here because they put $3,714 and then put the word millions behind it. Equities of $7,415 and then put the word millions beside it, and cash of $918,000.01 and amount to $12,047.65. So those must have been millions, but they wrote thousands and then put millions behind it. Digits were missing. Lawyers representing Bolt, and this at the Jamaica Observer, I know this is these kind of mistakes in like national newspaper thing. Anyhow, I'm not call out nobody, I'm just saying it's a big mistake. Lawyers representing Bolt has sent a letter to SSL demanding that this man's US $12,758,181.74, the reported balance on his account as of October 31st of 2022, be repaid by January 27th. Today's the 30th. Back of the class. Back of the class. The person who write it and the person who overlook it to see all the errors and stuff, the two of them no make one. But I swear to you, it says it right here. I mean, no, I left school long time, but me still numbers. I'm good with my dollars and cents. That's how my maths pop off. That's what I done. But it actually says 3,714.58 US. That's 3,714 US dollars and 58 cents, and then they put the word millions beside it. I mean, no, say I'm not 300 million. So anyhow, big command observer, do better than that. Anyhow, they ordered that his money be repaid. They gave them a deadline, January 27th. The 27th came around, no money was repaid. Like I said before, the money probably is never going to be seen again. See? The attorney also claimed that about 12,000 US dollars now remains in that account. 12,000 US dollars. The irony, my 12 million is gone and you only have 12,000 to show me. We fighting up in here. I'm breaking all kinds of, pardon my language, I'm breaking all kinds of shit in here this morning. I'm moving furniture around the office when we come talk to you. And I'm Usain Bolt. I can afford to do it. I come with some big, thick countryman where beer, banana, and yam and dashing them and then yam when them are growing them like 6'7", 300 pounds. We are go up there so at SSL, prepared to move furniture, ready, go. On my go. If you hear me say sass Christ and pat my head, so mash up everything in there. 12 million US. That's a lot of money. The attorney says only 12,000 US remains. Now, when the ultimatum expired last Friday, One of Usain Bolt's attorney, Linton Gordon, told the Observer that they were in talks with the Financial Services Commission, the FSC. The FSC ain't no better. The FSC is the governing body who governs the field of this entity, that the field that they operate in. The FSC has watched SSL do foolishness for over a decade, and the FSC has kept on patting them on the wrist, patting them on the wrist. A lot of people are saying that, from the people who lost their money there, are saying if the FSC was doing its job and they were notified that there were so many issues going on with SSL, they would have never put their money there. So Bolt's team now says they are in talks with the FSC, which has taken control of SSL, and it would be inappropriate to make any further comments at this time. Oh no, get back the money. Adata go on. Oh no, didn't get back the money. Now, in the meantime, local investigators have joined forces, have joined by the US, so the FBI is on the ground now. Local investigators have been joined by the FBI as the probe continues into what is believed to be the biggest fraud at a registered Jamaica financial institution. Now, bringing in the FBI, so the FBI late last week responded to questions. This is the part I was waiting for. Are they in? Are they not in? The FBI responded to questions from the Observer, confirming that it has joined the investigation officially, but there was not much more that it was going to say in response. They're not telling nothing right now. Now, because here what? Now this is going to get sticky. A lot of people right now are running and hiding and covering and fixing and shredding with fish shred and dash away, disassociating who they should disassociate from and all that. Because this is about to draw out a whole bunch of people that didn't want to be exposed. Remember, the FBI has no dog in this fight. And they hate to be discredited and they hate to be proven wrong. Them not have no dog in that fight here. Now, among the issues with the investigators they're probing are 10 transactions that happened between July of 2021 and May of 2022. Damn. In which millions of US dollars were taken from just between July of 2021, and May of 2022. 10 transactions, millions of US dollars were taken from Bolt's account and were transferred to a bearer to purportedly buy blue chip stocks in an American firm. Email authorizing the purchase of the stocks were purportedly sent by a previous member of Usain Bolt's management team. Remember, I'm telling you, him and them split up in December. It was sent by Usain Bolt's former member of Usain Bolt's management team to the former SSL employee at the center of the investigation. The same one that the head or CEO of the SSC said, I didn't even know Usain had an account here. We have meetings where we sit and discuss different accounts. Okay, how much money this person has in here? How are we going to diversify their portfolio? People give you their money so you can invest it, diversify their portfolio, put it into places where it will grow and them dollars multiply over time. This was a long haul thing for Usain. See? So he's saying when we have these strategy meetings, never in all the years I have been there had Bolt's name ever come up. And I'm hearing from somebody inside that is a very reliable source that the only person his team ever dealt with was this same woman who said she chopped about 40 people, 40 of her clients, but Usain was not one of them. I did not handle his money. I didn't handle his portfolio. Email authorizing the purchase of the stocks were sent by a previous member of Usain Bolt management team to the former SSL employee that is at the center of this investigation. But Observer sources says that the email address from which the authorization were sent was fabricated. Additionally, the former management team member has strongly denied authorizing the movement of funds from the Sprint Legends account. Bolt is one of at least 40 clients whose investments were totally or almost wiped out. Some people lost everything in this fraud scheme that is estimated to be around 3 billion so far. The issue, which has actually, a big choppings that, the issue which has attracted international attention primarily due to the fact that Usain Bolt is a victim, has resulted in the FSC sending a temporary manager into the company for oversight of its operations. Now, additionally, a raft of reforms for the financial sector were announced last week by Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark. They are so reactive and not proactive. But Dr. Nigel Clark said all that stuff about stronger penalties and people going to prison for a long time and all these other stuff. These are new laws that he is suggesting be implicated for white collar crime. And me laugh. I laugh because when you think of white collar crime, you think of white collar crimes. These white collar crime at this level, they're usually committed by people who are closely associated to those who wield power. And sometimes those who wield power are somehow attached to that. No make me know, no make them know doing no. Like that. Me sign for your man, but if anything happen, do not call me name. That kind of stuff, right? They hobnob together. Their children go to the same schools. They party on the weekend in their private backyard settings. Then pop bottles together and celebrate life together and make money together and that kind of thing. But when the shit hits the fan, it's time to separate and disassociate, and that I go on now. So, anyways, Clark also replaced four members of the FSC board with senior Bank of Jamaica executive Governor Richard Biles, who is now chairman, Wayne Robinson, Jid Lewis, and George Roper. Additionally, Dr. Clark told the country that in addition to the FBI forensic auditor from overseas, will assist local law enforcement agencies with probing the fraud. So they're getting a lot of overseas help because in addition to the FBI coming in, forensic auditors from overseas will also be coming in to work alongside the FBI and local authorities. Them are going to uncover a whole lot. This is going to get spicy, right? Remember, Harsh Chang, Minister of National Security, also, I forgot what his new title is as well. He came out recently to say that the Jamaica Labour Party has no account, no business with SSL, and they have never had an account with SSL. Shortly after which, the Prime Minister, who is the head of the JLP, came out and says, "Me didn't have one account over there, but me close it out in 2022." I just read a report on that SSL company, long report of all their violations that they were found to have over a 10-year period. And it's a long report. I'm going to click, like when we're done this live, I'll put the link somewhere down there so you can see it and you can read through it. Long report. And within the time period that, say, the Right Honorable Andrew Holness had his account there, you could see where he might have gotten inside information to say, hey, things about to go really bad. Take your money out. He was like, all right, I'll drop my money. Close it down. Close out my account. And then boom, scandal hit. Anyhow, it's called inside trading. I don't know. Late last Wednesday, Clark disclosed that the FSC was successful in obtaining a court order blocking the directors of SSL from winding up the company and liquidating its assets. That quickly, they wanted to just wind up the company, liquidate its assets. No. A court order came in place and stopped that. Stop. Don't move nothing. We need to see how everything went. Now, with the FBI in place, Dr. Nigel Clark said what will be uncovered is who did what, when, and where the money went. Even if it went overseas, they're going to track it there. Did people purchase properties or things with this money? Did they start new businesses? Did they invest this money into another market? Did they, as you can see, it says that that large amount of money, that was millions, was taken out of Usain Bolt's account between 21 and 2022, July 21st and May 2022, to be invested, transferred. Actually, it was transferred to a bearer to purportedly buy blue chip stocks in an American firm. So somebody did a set up themselves off of this man's hard earned money. Well, I can take it and carry it over here so and flip it and off his hard earned money. But the FBI is here and they're going to track all that with the intention, if them buy house over so and property over there and all that, the goal is to confiscate all those things, to take all of those things back. The court order bars the trustees and director of SSL from disposing of or from dealing with the assets and the liabilities that are in SSL's name, withdrawings, transfers, or otherwise dissipating any funds from accounts in its name wherever those accounts might be held, winding up or dissolving the company, or reorganizing the company or its operations, whether its documents, form, or in organization of its members or its assets or its liabilities. In other words, then, don't touch nothing. The court order says don't touch nothing. The people are here to include the FBI. Not touch nothing. Everything stay right there. Let these people in. Let them do what they have to do. This is going to be a very interesting find. I believe that names that we didn't know about are going to surface because, like I said before, it's not one person do this. It's not one woman did all this. And this wasn't a connection between just Usain Bolt's former business manager and one person at SSL. These kind of movements of money, when you're talking million, especially in the Caribbean, millions of US dollars. This ain't millions of Jamaican dollars. This is millions of US dollars. And nobody saw that money, like Gage said. Nobody not see when the money walk past. Nobody saw none of that except for that one person. That's a lie. But wait to see what happens next. So that's the update for Usain Bolt stuff. He didn't get his money back by the 10 days. He said he wanted to have his money back by. And now the FBI has confirmed that they are in it. They took questioning from Jamaica Observer, but they won't say much more other than we have joined. That's it. It's about to get sticky. It's about to get sticky for somebody. All right. Let's move on from Usain money now. She just taking the fall. Yeah, but she ain't going to take the fall by herself. You see, this is what I think happened, right? I think they thought that when this one blew up, that they were going to be able to just throw one person under the bus and then everybody else is going to run. I told you, I asked people before. I said 10 million US. You have to spend 2 years in prison. Would you thief the 10 million US? Majority of the people I have asked this question have said, hell yeah, me not thief it after me not kill nobody. 2 years? I gotta rub my 2 years and come out rich. I make sure I hide my money somewhere good, right? Very few people actually said, cause 2 years in prison, boy, it's easy if you go in a prison, but it's hard if you come out. Why if I go in there and fight man, cause man I try. Man want to turn me in a girlfriend. I'm have to go murder a man in the next thing, then give me a life sentence when I went in for only 2 years and these things. So may I think about those things, but majority of the people that I asked, just to show you, it's a normal human thing. Majority of people said 2 years of sufferation for the rest of my life of financial security. Them not think about what possibilities could happen in prison. And I said, give me the 2 years. Me take it. So that's what they thought with this money. We are gonna chop big. Jamaica rules them laps. Nobody no got prison for no white collar crime around here, so we get fined. That's about it. And so what? If you say one mad with we, after we and him and never friend from man in little country boy, and run him run fast and get him money. All right, make him stay over there, so We gone with the money. They thought that's what it was going to be and that's where it was going to end. And it's not. This thing are gone big now. FBI is on the ground involved. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. Blow up bigger than them did expect. That's what I go on. All right, so let's run over this case. I'm not doing it. Nah, I'm good. Karen, you wouldn't do the 2 years for 10 mil? How many people in here would do 2 years for $10 million? You thief the two, you thief $10 million. You go sit down in that prison for 2 years. When you come out, it's guaranteed your $10 million will be there. Who? Man, me spit out my tea. I drink some ginger tea this morning with lemon in it. No way, dirty tea. No way. No thanks. No, no, no. Hell nah. Mr. Mr. Article Dog says, hell nah. Not me. No, sir. No, no. So wait there. Are so much honest people in there? Here what? Woman prison different from man prison. Although I've heard stories in the women's prison of women being raped. And you know, them how them fashion. Did y'all watch Orange is the New Black? Y'all watch the movie, the series Orange is the New Black? I was so hooked on that Netflix series. I think that's the first Netflix series that I actually got hooked on. Orange is the New Black. If that was a proper depiction of what women's prison is, then it could be pretty rough inside of a woman's prison. But for the most part, I see women's prison like girls' camp. And they in there and they talk about their life, and you know, every now and then them licky with each other, kiss up, touch up each other, call them lonely. But when they come back out, they plan to be straight and go back to them husband. But man prison, one of the biggest fears of a straight man is forget Ben. One of the biggest fears of a straight man is that somebody are gonna lean you. You understand? Read between the lines if you don't understand what I'm saying. You might not be from the Caribbean here. Ask somebody what it mean. One of the biggest fears of any straight man is that they're gonna lean me in there. They're gonna bend me in there. So I don't want to be bent. I don't want to be bent. I don't want to be leaned. I like straight. So it's a no for me. It's a no for me. $10 million couldn't repatch around this and buy back around this. So my back part of my mind, my mental state, after something like that happened to me, 10 mil wouldn't be enough. So no. But I don't know if my wife want to take the fall feet though and go in because Shakira said, you know, I'll do it, babe. There's nothing. You know, then what's the most could happen? The most could happen is she end up with a woman in there. You did what you had to do to survive. It wasn't rough, was it? Nah, I had my girlfriend and everything, and I don't know. I'll be one of those hypocritical Jamaican man when she come out. Yeah, you know, if we're not gonna continue this thing, um, you know, if we can jump in and mingle and we do a little treat. Cause we're rich now, you know. We're rich now, so we're gonna do rich people things. Yeah, let's explore, babe. Let's let's explore together. But me can't go in there for you. You have to go take that fall for that one there. Me can't do it. Someone said Jamaica prison or US prison. Wait there. Either one. If a US prison, you have to fight for your body like crazy. Because I don't know for them prison over here just geared towards body. Me watch me I watch a documentary and a man said it's not everybody gets tested in here. I saw the man saying that documentary, you know. When the man said everybody, he was like, I don't care how big you are, I don't care how much muscle you got, how bad you think you are. Everybody is gonna get tested in here. I'm talking about tested for some booty. Everybody gonna get tested in here, and it's a matter of you gonna stand on it or you gonna fold. But there comes a point when you're going to have to fight, just because of that right there. When he said that, I said, not a place for me. And then Jamaica prison, them just cranny from from yo, they released a picture, just one picture the other day. because a youth get beat inside there and them release one picture. And when I see the one picture, I say if this one picture doesn't deter these youths from going there, I didn't need to see no more. We just see one picture in the room broad, like I probably couldn't get my hand all the way out from a wingspan. The room that broad and the room shallow and the amount of little stuff when me sip on the wall and floor look like blood and other kind of something, and one little window there way up there. So when we done mud out in that rotted, and then them have two slab of sponge on the concrete ground. The sponge them about this thick. Now, sir. So when you ask USR USR Jamaica, the two of them bad. Me no business at which one. I'm just not doing it. God go with who want go. Me not do it. But if you take the fall for us, I promise to hold it down till you get back. I'll even be faithful. You know what I'm saying? Till you get back. Roy, no sir, that prison something that risking a true purple prison. One more allergy for me. That's why my police record is squeaky clean. Me and you see more. Not for me. Me like good life. Yeah, me like good life. Me like good food. Me like comfortable sleep. Me like, you know, them kind of thing there. No, sir. Me like do by myself in my bathroom. Me no want no man to come watch me. And next one. Here, the man said, you know when you look at when a man looks at a woman, like when she sits down, if she has on like short shorts or a bathing suit or whatever, he said that part in her side right here that meets when her legs come, that like that piece right there. He was like, they got a special name for that in there. So when you go in there and you sit on the toilet like this to take your crap, there's a man who sit down on the next toilet or he crossed the cell and he looking at that part of your body like this. OG Percy said he seen a dude looking at him like this. The man said he not even pull up in pants. He just get up off a toilet and just wah. He start fighting like right off the bat. Because if you don't, y'all try to tell the man, say, nah, I'm cool. I'm cool. And that's my biggest fear. So no, now I'm going there. Anyhow, they get weird in there. Anyhow, then you forgot beard, and then I'll put you in there with the next man. And you know y'all know the whole story about dropping the soap. When my soap drop, me not pick you up. That soap you have to go stay a ground. Not picking it up. Me a bathe with no soap. Do the all over me because I'm bathing with no soap. Matter of fact, me a mad somebody when me go in there. Do it in my hand. Slash it up. Seal my shit. Cream up myself with it. So. Mm. Them wouldn't want to touch me. Every chance me get. Every meal me get. Me I write my name in a doodle everywhere. Everything. Don't put me in no cell with nobody. You can't trust nobody in there. Middle of the night, you feel your bunky, I rub your leg. No, I'm good. Then I have to get up and fight him 2 o'clock a morning. No, sir. Me good. I'm doodle everywhere. I'm just every time I shit me just sling it. Yep, he's slinging it again. Yo, boy, that's how bad I don't want to be in there. Y'all better let me out. I got mud in there. When days before my release, now I start clean up myself. About the night before my release, them say, you know, says I'm a mad person we are sent back out into the world. Nope. When them see me next morning, clean, well spoken. Hey, how's everybody doing? Nope. Yeah, I have somebody coming to pick me up. My mom's gonna come pick me up. Cause my woman gone. My mom's gonna come pick me up. Yeah, I'm all right. Well, here's my address. I'm gonna be staying. Da 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 da. When I come in, couldn't talk in a one sentence. While all the time he was here, he was belligerent and gibberish, and slinging feces everywhere. And all of a sudden, he's, yep, because that's me. My defense, like snowball. Go ahead, boy, prison. Anyhow, when this whole when this whole FBI investigation done with Usain Bolt money, you know, watch I see what we go on. Watch the name them where gonna come out. My thing is I want to know what kind of punishment is gonna come behind that. Cause Jamaica loose with them punishment, you know. Man get murder, get murder charge and get bail. Just report to the nearest police station on a daily basis or Monday, Wednesday, and Friday or something like that. Man get some heinous charges, much less money. Money they not even look upon that. Look from when Masado thief thief my boy money, Mavado money. And I know she's neither in jail or her like they keep extending this bail, extending. She get to act like she's crazy. She get to act like she had do up herself. She had walk the road with 1 foot of shoes on. She had do all kind of something and she's free. So there's a way around it, and them sister the way around it is easy. I'm telling you, in the US it wouldn't fly because no matter how crazy you are, they have a place for you on the inside. You have to go just be crazy inside, but not Jamaica. They're like, well, we don't have no place, no medical facility to treat such illness, so release them to their own reconnaissance. They can, or maybe put them on some kind of house, something. I don't know. I bet I wouldn't tell Shakira about that. But I wouldn't tell Shakira somebody in there sling doodle. I sure would. I sure would, babe. Every day. This me, as soon as dinner came, like 5 minutes after I eat, I some used to scoop it. I would even perfect my scoop. I some used to scoop it. I sling it like this. Yeah, I had this thing where I have to go around my head like this because I got obsessed with how I had to sling it right like that. Right? And they used to splash. Yeah, them used to go crazy when they came by my cell and stuff. I'll be out here telling my telling my prison sling doodle story them for years. Yeah, like that. Want me see how I do it? Like that, right? How way I chat about she can't go in there if she want to. I would prefer her to go in though. I'm just saying. I prefer then when I call me do the man. Yeah, as long as them not get thrown up in a me though. Nobody is bending me in here. Call me what you want to. You know I'm bend me now. Yeah, you have to go through a whole heap of feces to get I'm scratching, biting, kicking, crying, all that. Fighting, thump, box, everything. Plus you have to go through doodle. So it's gonna be rough. Yeah, you choose somebody else. That's it. Let's choose somebody choose somebody else. Hey yo, move on to this one, right? A more serious note. So we covered this story a couple of years ago, and we don't know. Jamaica really needs to fix up with their sentencing and all these things. So efforts are going to forego a trial in the case of the Portmore-based mechanic who is charged with the gruesome murder of 20-year-old Khanice Jackson in the St. Catherine community in March of 2021. Khanice, y'all can look her up, see her picture on the IG, not IG, what am I talking about? On the icon for this video. That's her picture, the young lady, fair-skinned young lady to the left. That is Khanice. Her situation was, a man in the neighborhood will see y'all go work and all is a talk about you want a drive, you want me drop you at work, and them thing there. Now you might have trusted this person. This person always put sex talk to you and thing, and you said, boy, Mr. Smith, you're too old for me, man. You're like older than my father and these kind of things that or whatever on woman say when time them man they approach them weird. But this man apparently all along had a plan for this young lady. Sad how she ended. The accused Robert Fowler, he appeared in court. This is the update via Zoom in the Home Circuit Court in downtown Kingston Friday gone. The case was adjourned in October of last year as the High Court judge, Justice Vinette Graham Allen, said that she wanted to address concerns regarding Fowler's health before addressing the matter of a possible plea deal and a guilty plea. The judge then ordered the relevant authorities to ensure that the accused man has his health condition attended to. See, that trips me out. It trips me out that you already know that the man guilty. The man already, like, there, everything points to him, but they get priority. And I know it's guilty till innocent till proven guilty, but he's not just accused. We know say him. They get caught up in, oh, he's sick. A same thing for the scamming pig, like how Miss Masada did. And me call her Messy Masada after that because she got mess up herself in the people in the courtroom. And I honestly think that it's a part of her strategy. This is my personal opinion. I'm allowed to have one. I know them people that will come for you and talk about you're spreading rumors and cease and desist and lawsuit. It's my personal opinion. Nobody never tell me I'm not trying to sabotage anything that she's doing. I'm saying I would do that if I was a lawyer. To my client, I would say, listen, we're going to do the ill or sick thing. So I need you to drink up this batch of Cerciritis. I'm just boil it chunk. And I'm going to put some Cinepod in a dish and boil it down. I'm going to drink that up too. But drink it close to when we get to the courtroom. It's going to take about 30 minutes to kick in. But once it kick in, there's going to be some embarrassment to this because you're going to projectile doodle all over the place, just boodle. That's going to be a part of your plea. I, as your lawyer, is going to say, Your Honor, this is what my client is battling. Now, y'all can lock her up, but you're going to have somebody to clean up doodle feces everywhere, like every 30 minutes to an hour, because that's how she doodle. She can't keep nothing down, so as soon as she eat it, run back out and these things. And based on that, oh, it's her health condition and all that, release her on bail. And then the bail get extended, and then the bail get extended, and then we start looking at years without a trial, years without the victims getting restitution, years of them still being free to do whatever it is that they want to do. You understand? So in this case now, with this mania, the mechanic, the judge actually halted the case and said, let's look into his health condition and make sure that he gets proper care for his health issues before we proceed. So after they took him into custody, his health started to decline rapidly. The judge ordered the relevant authorities to ensure that the accused man has his health condition attended to. So I never know, so I have health condition before him doing to the young lady. Now on Friday, the court was told that discussions between the prosecution and the defense have resumed with the aim of ironing out a plea deal for Mr. Fowler. Additionally, Graham Allen has pursued documents relative to the accused man's health condition. What really are going on with him? That's what they want to know. Fowler was further remanded into police custody until March 8th. Today is January 30th, when the matter will again be mentioned. Jackson, an accounting clerk who resided in Independence City in Portmore, she went missing on March 24th, 2021 after leaving home for work. Her body was found 2 days later off of Dyke Road in the vicinity of the Portmore fishing village. A post-mortem examination determined that she was strangled to death. Fowler was taken into custody just hours after Jackson's body was found. It was revealed by Deputy Commissioner of Police Fitz Bailey that the mechanic was known to the deceased and that he would often transport her to and from work. Now, according to the police, during investigations, they recovered a number of items that belonged to Jackson, including her handbag and her bank card at Fowler's house. Detectives were reported to have also found evidence which suggested that the victim was sexually assaulted before she was strangled to death. See that? So we know him do it, right? Here's the thing. Somebody actually saw her go into the house with him, and the person said it looked like them couldn't tell, but it kind of looked like she was going there by force. But them never called no police or nothing. Mind my business. Think a woman in my car going in my yard. He would often transport her, right? This day, he took a detour. She said, where y'all go? Him said, hold on, the man, me left. I forgot what he said. But if you follow my other videos of this case, him said, me left something at the house. Let me just stop by and pick it up there real quick. That was his plan. When he got to his house, he forcibly removed her from the car, took her inside his dwellings, where he did what he did. Kind did have this plan long time, and then a long time I want this, and then put her back in the car and dumped her body off at the side of the road over Dyke Road, over Portmore, over what you call it there. So yeah, he was picked up like right after. Vicky Victory said he should rot in jail. The man them in there should have beat him to death from day one when him going there. But I don't know. These guys get to go in and then they get to make a new batch of friends. And I don't know if they don't discuss with each other like what you in here for and that kind of thing. But I saw you go. Now it's on hold again until March because they're working out a plea deal for him. A plea deal for what? Cases like these, there should be no plea deal. That young lady trusted you because you've been carrying her, transporting her back and forth. So she has said this, if anybody me can trust, me know says this person me can trust. Just like in the Beachy Stout case. The young lady that Beachy Stout was married to, right? He could have been her grandfather, but anyways, that's their problem. Two adults, age no make no difference. Them decide they want to eat with each other for them business. But the young lady, Tanya, the brother that testified said him Beachy contract for do the killing, but him couldn't do it. Him said me couldn't do it because she know me too good. And me know her too good, like we know each other. And she was the one that was driving the car. And when him tell her, said, turn up yourself. Him said when him look upon her, him know. So if it was anybody else that tell her, turn up yourself, cause up there dark and no light no up there. The man are crying now when him give him testimony because I say, oh God, like the only reason she turn up there because of me, and because I told her she trust me, she did just trust me too much. So I'm saying, she did just trust me too much. That's why I couldn't do it. So I hired this man to do it, and I tell him how the boss say him want it done. And I sat there and watched him do it according to how he was instructed to do it. Him get film sentence already. I think he got like 14 years for that, or 15 years. That's it for that. Beachy case not started. Beachy case start in September. But the man him contracted to do it already confessed, got his, and the person who him tell the judge, I keep saying this, the person who him tell the judge say him are the one who do it. Me pay him for do it. We split the money. Me couldn't do it because me and she did too close. But me make him do it and we split the money and me watch him do it. The man describing gruesome detail how them actually do her, and end up get 15 years. That's play time. And the man who actually allegedly did it got released. Got released. Me don't know where him there right now, but he got released on bail. So we will see how all this goes when that the case they start. But in this particular case, remembering this young lady, I hope justice is served for her because she really trusted this man. It's somebody will carry go every day, almost every day. So yeah, oh, Master George, all right, Master George, jump in that car. Yeah, man, so everything, and yeah, you're not suspecting. Hold on, let me stop over here so real quick. Me forget something. And she say, all right then. And next thing you know, come out that car, go in the house. And you're like, what the? You serious? That's how her life ended. Yes, the man out on bail. I keep telling people that. The jokey way how they do. That's why when I go through the Andre Mcdonald case and I see how stuff is being handled, but Andre Mcdonald, they're out on bail too. But of course, he has GPS monitoring and all other kind of something and surveillance there upon him and all kind of sitting. So him can't even sneeze. But after getting that confession and sentencing a man based on that confession, there should be no way possible that this man, the way how him just described, how him do the girl, Why you put him back outside? Why would you put him back outside? Any human being that could do that to a next human being that had no beef with them, just for some money, they don't deserve to be out here in society among regular people. Them put the man back outside. I don't know if they might use him as a decoy for drawing certain things. I don't know what their strategy or plan is, but this is a regular thing that they do. And it makes no damn sense to me. Marcia Walters said he's out there doing another hired hit, and that's the problem in Jamaica right there. I'm gonna tell you one of the biggest problems in Jamaica before we go on to the next case, right? In the name of Khanice Jackson and remembering her, one of the biggest problems in Jamaica is this. When killer get bail, killer wipe up everybody involved. Go around and tell people stuff like, you did that. You see when me kill a boy, right? Hey, you see if you ever say nothing, the whole of your family gone, no dog. Brother, me not say a word, me not say nothing. Me not even know what y'all talk about right now. All right, keep it like that. The next person, Miss Joan. Miss Joan done talk to police already. Yes, I was there and Miss see it and everything. Front page news. 85-year-old woman found with her throat slashed, blah, blah, blah. I only think them something that happened. Sometimes it's reprisal killing because they looking for you and can't find you. So them catch your granny. Sometimes it's somebody committed a crime and this elder person say, me want to clean up my environment. So me I talk to the police. Them same one leg of the boy back on the old man. Pan bail. And he make sure that by the time his trial comes around, ask anybody. Enough case get thrown out because witnesses cannot be found or located. And when you ask the law, them say, well, we don't know, we don't know if them moved to a new country or them gone somewhere else on the island. We just can't find them. We've made many, many efforts to find them and we just can't locate them. So based on the fact that now we're standing before the judge all 3, 4, 5 years later, anybody to call to say that this really happened, judge I say, and then you hear, no, Your Honor, there's nobody, no witnesses. This y'all had statements, man. You had about 4 witnesses here. Where are any? Well, Your Honor, we can't locate any of them. Case get dashed out. Wide upon road again. All the time. All the time. So in her case, I don't think that man deserves any kind of plea deal, nothing. You see the youth where did his cousin and our children in from Clarendon, I think he should get about as many years as that youth there. For that, when do to somebody, a young lady that really trusted him. And then like she was some little young girl who did a look man and she did flighty and non-progressive, non-productive, or she didn't want gunman or hole or chopper or nothing like that. She was on her way to work. He was the one who was taking her on a regular basis back and forth to work. Accounting she work, you know. And you take with the people them daughter, strangle her, do what you want to do with her, dump her like garbage on the side of the road. That's why I use the word dashway, because that's exactly what he did to her. So remembering Kennis Jackson today, just like we remember the others when their time come up, we're looking forward to the other case. You don't know what case may I talk about that's on its way. Y'all don't forget about her. Keep your eyes peeled and I will update you on this particular case when sentencing comes about. I guarantee you he ain't getting much time because the judge already seems sympathetic. Let's look at his health condition first and make sure he gets all the help he needs. I've heard that his kidneys are failing and he might have diabetes or something. But me don't know if the source I heard it from, it wasn't printed like Gleaner or Loop or Star or one of those. So we'll see, we'll hear later exactly what it is, right? Y'all be careful out there, ladies. And every smiling face man have your best interest at heart. Some of them well want draw you away, go do what them want do to you. And you might be sitting there thinking, oh, he's so nice. I'm telling you, women, some of y'all are so naive, man. It's not even funny. As big grown women, naive as hell. The woman them will have enough attitude. As some of my woman have to stay now, have enough attitude. Yeah, me no business. Call her face. They have enough attitude. She not kiki up with every man. You can't draw her around and no corner. Can't offer her no ride to go nowhere. Let me drop you off and none of that. Me walk. Because of them kind of days that we are living now. Here? All right. One more before we get into the Beachy Stout thing. This book, Ghost Guns. So if you don't know, when you hear a man talk about a chip Glock, or a man talk about a gun, over here in the US, we call that a switch. A switch will enable you have to press trigger every time for gunfire. I'm educating this morning, plus explaining. You have to press trigger every time for a semi-automatic to fire. Bow, bow. Every time you want to hear a bow or send out a bullet, you have to press a trigger. Bow, bow. Well, they could engineer that gun, put a switch on it. In Jamaica, chip Glock or what them call it, or a chip upon it up here. Same thing. When you press the trigger, it races out. Turn it into an automatic weapon. So it goes from semi to fully automatic. So that handgun, a 9mm there, I got fire like AR-15 pump burst. Like that. Bad enough we were dealing with that. Ghost gun is the thing now. A large amount of the guns that they just found, majority, this article was printed just yesterday in the Jamaica Gleaner, and it says that majority of the stash of firearms that were seized in Montego Bay, St. James on Friday are homemade, untraceable ghost guns. And they did a big bust and had quite a few guns they picked up. Homemade ghost guns. What does that mean for our already challenged law enforcement officials who can't trace the gun them that have ballistics that they can trace? So put a switch on a homemade ghost gun. That means you chop up a place and disappear, my friend. This is going to be the choice of weapon for any killer or anybody who have intentions of doing this. A switch upon an untraceable, a ghost gun, a fast-growing phenomenon in which they have become the weapon of choice for violent criminals and gun runners, is what the rest of the headline says. Majority of those that were seized in Montego Bay on Friday are exactly that type of gun I just described to you. I don't know. I said to myself, say, boy, them kind of gun where I go to Jamaica is like, what them a plan for really? Is there going to be some uprising we don't know about yet? Are these guns ever going to be turned on anybody other than we one another? Is some war coming I don't know about? But I guess in the world of shootout, you would want to have the most deadliest weapon. You know them say in war, the wickedest man wins. Don't let that go over your head. In war, the wickedest man wins. Some people go to war, but them go to war with a heart. When you go to war, you know if you have no heart. Everything can be a casualty of war. These so-called guns are typically made from parts loosely purchased online without background checks, and they do not bear serial numbers, making it almost impossible to detect their use in criminal activities. Nearly 22 of those guns were seized at the wharf in Freeport, Montego Bay during an operation between the police and Jamaica Customs Agency on Friday. To the best of my knowledge, there were no serial numbers on most of those guns, Deputy Police Commissioner Fitz Bailey said to the Sunday Gleaner, and the latest gun find brings it to 33, the number of illegal firearms that have been seized in St. James alone so far since the start of this year. We're still in a January. Them find more of them gunner than days in the month. Yeah, don't let that go over your head either. The murder rate, we're past 60 something murders already. I think we're at 70 now in the first 30 days of the year, and one bag of gun. And now they're coming with switch and untraceable ghost guns. The cache of guns and bullets, which were packaged with legitimate goods, were detected by custom personnel who alerted the police. National Security Minister Dr. Harris Chang disclosed. Chang declined to reveal the intended recipient, citing the ongoing investigation. Now, here's my thing, right? So, them big gun shipment are coming. Wouldn't it be wise for law enforcement to tag that with surveillance equipment, micro camera, tracking device? Tag it. Open up one of the guns, put a tracking device inside of one of the guns, put the chip back together, pardon my language, and send it on its way to whoever it was supposed to come to. Watch it and see which part it got. Because here's the thing. Every time these things happen, we hear 50 guns found, 100 guns just found in 2 barrels. But nobody never get arrested with the guns. Just the gun them find. Like the gun them dress up themselves, package themselves, and mail themselves to Jamaica. And now that they're caught, they're here on their own. So Chang is saying him now reveal no information citing ongoing investigation. But I guarantee you, after this investigation, ain't nobody going to prison for this. When those kinds of guns reach here, we know that it is being sent by organized criminal networks. They are the only ones who have the resources and the technical connections. What am I talking about? To go and get them built for export illegally, said Chang, who is also Deputy Prime Minister. So Chang is the Deputy Prime Minister, that's his other title, as well as Minister of National Security. And him said when them kind of gonna start reach the island is joking this. Mr. Chang, how come nobody never get caught with these guns? Mr. Minister of National Security. Are y'all not mounting any covert operations pertaining to this? Or just them come in and I have a theory. I have a theory. Cause hear what? However these come in, X-ray, search, all these things are conducted and them still pass for come in. So what does that tell you? Research conducted by Everytown for Gun Safety, a United States-based advocacy group, estimated that the sales of a ghost gun began around 2014 and has since exploded into a major crisis for American law enforcement agencies. So if it can get trouble up by US, you can imagine poor little Jamaica, where is behind so far when it comes to crime scene investigation, forensics, and all these things. Me no nobody come tell me about you know always go on like foreign better. No, listen. When time the murder them happen at Jamaica, you know see the people them trampling all over the murder scene. Everybody take them own picture, send it gone on WhatsApp and IG and here and there, Facebook and sharing it everywhere. Them reach before police reach and extract all the information and mash up the crime scene, contaminate the crime scene. Ain't no one getting caught with these guns. Nobody. So with that said, he said that let's run right through this. This group was founded by the former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg. It noted that sellers provide all the necessary parts for a functional ghost gun, supported by claims that key parts can be made in about 15 minutes, often at rates that are below assembled firearms that are sold in retail outlets. Cheap. If noted too that an expansion in unregulated commercial sources makes ghost guns increasingly easier and inexpensive to make and very attractive because you can't trace them to violent criminals and gun traffickers seeking to trade to evade law enforcement. If perhaps it is not then surprising that law enforcement agencies are recovering homemade, unserialized firearms from criminals at an alarming rate now, says the report, which examined 100 federal prosecutions involving ghost guns. An influx of ghost guns into Jamaica could have grave implications for law enforcement authorities here on the island, already grappling with a high rate of gun-related crimes. Former Deputy Police Commissioner Novelet Grant has warned. Well, we don't need Chief Iwan about that. You can see how this is going to turn out really bad. Jamaica recorded an average of just over 1,000 murders annually, and this is consistently for the last decade, 80% of which involved guns. A routine part of any investigation involving gun crimes, Grant said, is to identify the weapon that was used through the unique marking on all firearms as well as the identity to identify the person who had possession of it. If you don't know, every gun has what's called a fingerprint, a gun fingerprint. So inside of your barrel, there are grooves, right? Those grooves are different. And when that shot fly out, it mark that, which can be traced back to that particular gun. The ones that are untraceable based on manufacturing, no serial number, no identifying markings, makes it so much harder for the police, investigators, and forensic people to be able to figure out which gun or guns are doing that. This creates, as you can all see, a major problem on top of what we already have, making this a big problem. Further, Grant, who briefly acted as Jamaica's first female police chief, said that the proliferation of ghost guns in Jamaica could make it more difficult to secure convictions for firearm-related offenses. Because you can't, what's your ballistic going to say? You can't tie nothing back to the man that used that. To go before a court of law, you have to establish that this is the gun that was used in this particular incident and it was used by this particular individual. So the whole investigative process becomes more challenging and the whole prosecution process becomes more challenging when you can't really definitively say that this is the gun. Chang, not, may I tell you, this is going to be an explosion, And this everybody want to walk with now, Let me tell you. Chang acknowledged that tackling the inflow of ghost guns will present a challenge, but tackling the inflow will present a challenge. Let's stop right there. I not even want to read no more of this. The article is much longer than this, and I want you to go over there and read it yourself. In the Jamaica Gleaner, it's called Do It Yourself Ghost Guns. Go read the whole article for yourself. All I'm saying is this. It's modern times now. We have technology now that can scan everything. There's stuff out there that can scan you before you even reach to the point where they tell you if you hold up your hand like this, walk through, and all that. So how come we're not implementing these modern technologies to scan through whatever it is that's coming into the island? The man them still are bringing gun through means like, what a movie the name again? The movie where the church, them did bring in the gun them through the church. and then pack them in a barrel them, the charity barrel them with ratty in the movie with packs of bag of rice. In the bag of rice, I wish part the gun them did there and the gun them did disassemble up and put. When you remember Third World Cup, they still operating in 2023 off a Third World Cup means, and law enforcement still can't keep up. Foolishness. Foolishness. When the government gets serious, they will start to implement these strategies and measures in order to catch these things, and they will be able to get them. All right, we have like 25 minutes left, which is perfect timing to go over this Beachy Stowe boy thing. Andre Mcdonald, Beachy's son. My headline says Beachy boys not being truthful. I don't need to hear this. Boy, I see the comment section, but watching this comment section is always people are cussing one another, you know, and taking this personal, you know. And some people don't even know what they might talk about. Like, if you're gonna watch a court case unfold, you need to listen. You need to listen. There's a lot of whispering going on. There's a lot of low tones. There's a lot of kind of everybody gonna talk loud for you to hear. So you need to listen. The people them take what they want, take and run with it, turn the story how them want, turn it. All right. So this is day 5. It is expected that this trial should last about 2 weeks. That's what was said. About 2 weeks. 1 week is already gone. We're on the second week starting today. Today they start at 10. I'm back up and running. I will be sharing the link. So those who are subscribed here and you hit the notification bell, you will get the link. Once you get the link, click that link, come on over, watch the trial, the court proceedings. Some of it get boring, but I'm telling you, stick to it because it's in the boring part where all the details comes out. Anyway, I'm not going to do it for you too. So, the first one to testify, Lieutenant Colonel Stephen Michael Chita. He testified that Andre was a cyber operator and a major leader within the unit. Notice how he came into the courtroom. This is Andre's boss. He is a lieutenant colonel. Andre is a major. So he's above him in rank. When he came into the room to testify, right? Notice how he came into the room. Got straight to business. He did not even glance in Andre's direction. So the lieutenant colonel has been in the Air Force for 21 and a half years, working in cyber defense for the Air Force networks. That's what Andre did, cyber defense for the Air Force networks. And he testified that he was Andre's boss, and he testified to Andre's demeanor on the job and what kind of relationship he had with him and all these other things. He supervised Andre in 2019 when all this had gone down. He had no relationship with him, he said. Me and him, we weren't buddies. I had no relationship with him except for at work. Now, the day that Andreen was reported missing, he said that that same day, Andre did show up to work, for work. That was Friday, March 1st of 2019. The colonel testified how he handled the situation by SOP. SOP for civilians is standard operating procedure. You do not deviate from that in the military. If you deviate from that, they will you up. How them say it to be done is how it will be done, and no other way around it. So he said he handled everything according to SOP, standard operating procedure, right? He reported to hire what he had heard because the same day Andre came in, he was also contacted, and somebody said to him, "Yo, they're looking for his wife, she's missing." So he right away reported that to higher up, and then did all the other steps that you are instructed to do if anything like this should ever happen. So he handled the situation by SOP, reporting to higher up, going to Andre's home to check on him because he reported to work, then he left, went home. So he went over to Andre's home to check on him. They asked him on the stand stuff like, He lives in a gated community that requires a code to get in or security clearance to get in. How did you get in there? And he said when he got there, he notified the police officers that he was there, and one of them let him in, all that stuff. They asked him how long he stayed with Andre, what was his mood like when he got there. He said, well, he hadn't eaten in a couple of days. So I drove down to Sonic's and got him a meal. What else did you do for him? Or did you? He said, well, I just basically made sure that he was not being treated unfairly. And now this is your chain of command, and that's what they're gonna do. I got your six, mean they're always gonna look out for you. That's their job. They don't care about anything else for now. They want to make sure that they're not coming in with any judgment. They want to make sure you, their personnel, you're not being treated unfairly. And that's what he said he did. Made sure he got something to eat, stuck around for about 3 hours, made sure he wasn't being treated unfairly. He's in the reserve. So it's drill weekend. Reservists meet 1 weekend a month and 2 weeks out of the year. That's how reservists meet. So 2 weeks out of the year is when you check in. 1 weekend out of every month is how you drill. I never like working with reservists. That's a side story anyhow, because active duty always feel like reservists aren't trained properly like us. So when you work with them, they could compromise your mission based on. I had one in one of my deployments, and when we rolled out, we were about to conduct a mission, and when we roll out to sector, this is like dark dust, right? It's all infantry soldiers on the back of this vehicle, and we getting our teams ready. Alpha team going in first, Bravo team will follow next. Who's gonna breach the door? All this other stuff. Boom! They send in a reservist group to come join us, and I kid you not, as soon as we rolled out of the fob safe zone, this man's whole magazine fell out of his weapon. And I was like, what the and we're rolling on a thin skin Humvee, no cover, and this man magazine drop out time weapon while the vehicle move, and the vehicle drive gone, left him magazine, one whole magazine full of 30 rounds. I was like, keep him over here, because I don't want him nowhere near my team. So that's the kind of training I have in my mind, my perception of them. Anyhow, 1 weekend a month is where they meet. We actually call them nasty girls. No disrespect, but within the military we have different names for. We call them nasty girls, but neither here nor there. So he was a nasty girl. He was a reservist, and that particular weekend was one of their drill weekends when Andreen went missing, and he still showed up for work as if nothing happened, and then his higher ups got the note that stuff going on over at his house, so they went to go check. The colonel said that he returned the following day with another major matching Andre's rank, major. That could be a reason why they weren't compatible either. He said Major Hernandez was more close to Andre. He didn't call him Andre, he calls him Major Mcdonald. So he said Major Hernandez was closer to Major Mcdonald. I could see why, because they are the same rank, right? And their fraternization in the military is frowned upon. You're not supposed to do it. We did it, but you're not supposed to do it. You know what I'm saying? So these higher ranking ups and leaders, they're not allowed to come have weekend parties and hang out and be over at your house and chill with you. You hang with your rank group or lower. If you're in a team leader position or something like that, squad leader position, then you take care of your younger soldiers and all that other stuff. You and them could hang out, but higher up in you should not be hanging out. That kind of stuff. So they asked him, why did you bring somebody else the next day with you? And he said, basically, based upon the situation, because by this time, it had gone all over the news that she was missing and everything. So I thought it was wise to bring another military personnel just to have extra eyes and ears on the situation, what's going on. What did you observe on day 2? Now, upon arrival, he said Andre was preparing a bucket because him just use the code when get from yesterday this time and just show up. When we got there, he was preparing a bucket, full up the bucket, mop bucket, putting cleaning agents in it and stuff. He was preparing to mop, to clean up some waste that was spilled on the floor. That's what he said. They never asked him what kind of waste, what the waste looked like or nothing. Andre had top secret clearance. He revealed that as well. He had top secret clearance. He was highly recommended by his chain of command above him to be promoted very soon to a DOA, or Director of Operations, Director of Cyber Operations. So he was a well-rounded, hard-charging, the commander right hand was going to be Andre's next position up. The commander's right hand. They asked him, so what would this mean? And he said, well, he was characterized as aggressive in getting the job done, staying on task, overcoming the toughest problems. He was the model service member. So they figured he needed to be in more challenging places, positions, because he would shine better and he would serve better in these positions. Director of Operations of cyber warfare. Then that was it for him. And then Clifton Klabunde testified next. He was the man that owns the land where the body was found. He came up there wheezing. Him look like him smoked enough and he's been retired for a while and him drink about a pint of whiskey a day. I don't know. But that's that old retired Texas life stuff, all on my own piece of land. So he testified basically that he inherited the farm, right? And he leases the land that's next to the farm, to the property. But they asked him, when was the last time you had went out to that property prior to the day they found Andrine's remains out there? He said a couple of years. Remember I told y'all, I think he had not been out there in a couple of months, and Andre knew that he wasn't going to be there for a couple of months. It wasn't months. It was a couple of years. And he knew that he barely ever went out there. Good place to put our body. It's private land, and they barely ever go there. Now, the former owner answered 2 questions, and then he was off the stand. He basically verified pictures. Is this the land? Yes, it is. Does this look like it's been altered? Anything where he says no. So this looks true to what the land. Yes, it does. Okay. The land is yours. Yes. How'd you acquire it? I inherited it. Blah blah blah, and I rent the property next to it. That's it. Then put him off at the stand. Sean Tobelman came in next. Again, Sean Tobelman had been there before. This is an officer that testified before. This time he's testifying in a different role. He again takes the stand and he testifies. This time he testifies about covert operations that were conducted on Andre. And he was the leader of this one. So he explained to the judge or to the courtroom, so what's the covert operation? What do they have? He said, basically, we had set up surveillance on him, and we developed an operational plan and an arrest plan for him. We devised a plan to get Andre to come out of the house. And then they asked, and did he come out? And he said, yes, he did. They devised a plan to draw him out of the house because they didn't want to go into the house and then run into a situation where he's barricaded himself in there with guns and it's going to be a shootout or anything. They wanted to take him out in the open, right? And then they spoke about his cell phone and stuff. When you arrested him, did you take a cell phone off his person? And he said yes. Matter of fact, when he walked out of the house, he was on the cell phone. What did you do with that phone? We took the phone and we handed it over to the Bexar County Police immediately. No further questions. He leaves. Female doctor. This bout to get real interesting. Listen, female doctor testified next. Doctor explains and verifies, yes, these are the bones. Yes, they're human, blah, blah, blah. She talked about how they tested it to match it to Andrine, condition of the bones that were found, etc. She said that they were relatively anatomic when they found them, despite some interruptions from what could have been scavengers or the elements. Rain come, wet them, water slide, wash away, move around. But for the most part, the body was intact. Even though it was a skeletal, the body was intact, as in the head was where the head was supposed to be, the torso was where a torso would be, legs were where the legs would be, and it was laid out like that. Even though it had other bones that were animal bones that were on top of it and mixed up in it, like water bring that, come down the land, and it stop this upon that and mix it up. Right. They basically asked her about her education, how she's qualified to do all this. She's been in the medical examiner office for over 20 years and has done literally thousands of these and has testified about once a month for the last 20 years. Cause and manner of death, cause and manner of death determination is her sole cause. Medical examiner office is a independent entity. They are not attached to the police department or any other entity. Their sole cause is to determine cause and manner of death. July 12th, 2019, 11:08 a.m. is the first time they were notified to attend the scene. That's when they first got the call that says, we need y'all out here. But the 11th is when they first got a call that says, hey, I think we found a human body out here. We'll let you know. That was the 11th, 7 p.m. in the evening. By the next day, the 12th, at 11 a.m. in the morning, we need y'all out here. And then she says her team rolls out. I love how they keep a record of everything. You know what I'm saying? All right, conditions. So she testified where the bones were found, in what conditions they were found in, and what the collection and separation process is. How did they go about separating the human bones from the animal bones that were found out there? This is to verify the authenticity of the evidence. She said it appeared that there had been a fire around the human remains. Black charred earth and parts of the skeleton were burnt. The phalanges, which are the fingers, the tips of the phalanges and half of some of the fingers were burnt, right? Last question. Nothing about those bones that they could give you specifics on when and how that person died. Is there? Is what Andre's lawyers asked her, and she said no. At this point, cracked spinal cord, broken neck, punctured, anything, they must try to minimize. This is what his lawyers must do. They must try to minimize her cause of death. Because if it looked like he did her in a bad way, then it could refute their story. They're coming with a story that this was a mutual fight. You know, relationship is toxic. They fight all the time. This was one of those other fights. This one just went out of control and she died in the process accidentally, right? Next, male doctor takes the stand. Dr. Freed. Dr. Freed, medical examiner, forensic pathologist. Andreen is not the sole owner of. Okay, so people are now in the comment section saying Andreen is still the sole owner of all the businesses and the house they live in and all this other stuff. Y'all need to stop trying to paint this man as if he never did anything and he was not a part of anything or had anything invested and he was some broke man that was in the military that she pick up and support, because that's not the narrative of the story, right? He is part. Andreen didn't own anything that he didn't own also. That is why they had an argument about the new LLC that she was hiding and getting going, because everything else they've always done as a couple. So what's up with this? You know, what this about? That's where the argument started. Anyhow, Dr. Freed testified that he's done over 2,600 autopsies to his credit, and his history, how he got his degree, when he started practicing. Everybody have to verify enough. He prepared this particular autopsy report. He said that he has done dozens of skeletal remain autopsies, because Andre's lawyers are like, yeah, you've done autopsies, but you've done autopsies on whole bodies, right, with skin, bone, flesh, organs, but this is a just straight skeleton. He says, I've done a lot of those too. Dozens of those skeletal remain autopsies I've done. It was it would be difficult to piece together any wounds because soft tissue is missing. So stab wounds, blunt force trauma, all those things you wouldn't be able to tell, right? Several cervical vertebrae, he said, were fractured. So in the human body, you have the cervical area, you have the thoracic area, and then you have the lumbar area. Cervical is the upper higher spinal cord. Thoracic is the middle part of your back spinal cord area, and lumbar is down by your waist area, lower back of the spinal cord. If you think of a human spinal cord, for Andrene, C4, C5, C6, CB, and cervical, 4, 5, and 6, those were fractured. 7 was the lowest one. That was resting on T1. T is thoracic, so that's her lowest rib. That 7 was resting on her lowest rib. 7 was fractured in such a way that it was broken in 3 places. T11, thoracic 11, was fractured so bad it was broken off completely. The right 11th rib was fractured and broken in 2 places. Fingers were burnt. The condition she was found in, right? All right. So, babe, did I touch her? No, wait. Y'all gonna hear this. All right, so the comment section going crazy, people arguing, dissing each other. A woman says, yeah, but being abused does not give you the right to kill someone. And my answer to that was, well, nothing gives you the right to abuse someone either. And you certainly do not get to dictate how that abused person must and will react after you abuse them. So at the end of the day, that can't be no argument other than don't abuse nobody because you don't know how them are going to take it. But moving right along to the facts of what was put out in court. The doctor continues to testify, and he testified about Andrene's injuries. This doctor is meticulous. This doctor is a nerd. See? But I like nerds. He testified about her injuries. Andre, at this point, is showing no emotions. Even with the detailed description and the pictures of how his wife was found, man not have nothing. All right, the doctor said that a portion of her femur, the biggest bone in your body, your thigh bone, a portion of her femur bone was removed and sent to the lab for DNA studies. He said that this is not my job, it's not my specialty. We remove it and we turn that over to the crime lab. A new doctor now takes the stand to testify. Doctor testified. Well, no, not yet. Him, same one. He testifies that her injuries are more consistent. Listen to this. This doctor said these injuries that he saw on her skeletal, they were more consistent with being struck by a tool like a claw hammer. Remember, I know. C4, C5, C6, C7, T1, T11. Broke off or broke up completely to where it's separated in pieces. Here is the expert that is testifying that these were not consistent with a punch or a kick. Remember, Andre's story is, I stomped her. All right. That's why I say in the beginning, Beachy son now tell the truth. Because this is speaking now. This is how Andrene gets to speak from the grave. You understand? All right. Him never stumped me nothing. I beat me with a hammer is what her body is saying right now. All right. He said that if she was stomped, he believes that you would have a broad area of force. And these small defects that you see on the skeletal, they are suggestive of a more focused impact because the head of the hammer will hit into that one space. But a big foot are going to hit a bigger space. So wholly more would have trauma stuff would have been around that area. So this is more consistent. So to that note, I says no, he said. Is this consistent with a stumping? And he went and explained all that I just said to you, and then said, to that I say no. It was definitely more consistent with being beaten with a hammer. This is not good for Andre, and this is not matching his stumping story. And remember, hammer with blood was found in the garbage can, and it was shown in the courtroom at this time while this part of the testimony was going on. So no to stomping on the spinal cord, but injuries to her ribs, those are consistent with being stomped on, he said. So she gets stomped, ribs, the broken ribs, injuries to her ribs were consistent with being stomped on. Injuries to her back and her spinal cord, those were consistent with being hit with a hammer. So did he stomp her out, then beat her with the hammer? That's what this says. Which would mean it was not a mutual fight that happened and ended suddenly. That's what his lawyers are banking on. She came up in my face again. This time, I couldn't take it. I hit her. She fell. I stomped her right there in that place. I looked over. I seen my daughter right there. I took my daughter upstairs to go to bed. I came back down. She was laying in the same place, not breathing. Listen, all the blood we find in another part of the house, that not consistent already, and I told you all that. No, this expert is saying, and he has done over 2,600 autopsies. He is saying, nope, that's not consistent. What happened to her rib cage is consistent with being stumped or kicked, but what happened down the spinal cord and in the back, we're not gonna hear more what obviously did to her. That was from more consistent with the hammer. And the hammer was found with blood and with hair on that same hammer. All right. And me, I asked, did he stump her then beat her? Like, did he stump her out and then beat her with a hammer? Which would mean it was not a mutual fight that happened. It ended suddenly. Someone at some point went and got a hammer and introduced it to the equation. Doctor said he phrased her death as, because they asked him, so what would you call her death? How did she die? Cause of death. He phrased her death as homicidal violence, including blunt force trauma. And I would say to the jury that there's a lot of discrepancy here. What he does not know is what the fatal injury was that actually killed her, because bones is all he had to work with. So he said if there was strangulation, for instance, if there was a gunshot, for instance, if there was a knife and she got stabbed in vital organs, we would not be able to see any of that unless the knife had hit a bone or the gunshot had hit a bone. So we wouldn't be able to tell any of that. Even if she was poisoned, we probably would not be able to tell unless we had flesh, organs, meat, skin, heart, lungs, all them something there. And they had none of that. All they had was skeleton to work with. So for that, he is uncertain of the true cause of her death. On my last page, at this point, big holes are poked into Andre's theory of what actually happened to Andrine. Big holes. His lawyer does a good job here, though. The doctor answers to say he would not he could not tell. He asked them, he says, okay, so bones were broken. Could you tell if those bones were broken before death or after death? And the doctor says no. However, the doctor did say when humans break bones, the body immediately starts to heal itself. So if you got your bone broken, it would take some time for the bone to start to try to heal itself. So say for instance, if you got your bone broken alive Monday and then you died on Friday, I probably wouldn't be able to tell in the autopsy if that bone was broken before you died or after you died. But if you got that bone broken in January and you died in April, June, July, then there would be signs of a broken bone that was trying to mend itself. And in Andrine's case, they didn't find any signs of any broken bones trying to mend itself, which means not good for him again. Them bones got broken sometime during, whether it's before or after death, it was in that altercation where those bones were. Now, the crazy one that I saw was this: her mandible injuries. Her mandible injuries with a tool, her mandible injuries are consistent with being hit with the same tool, a hammer. Now, people, your mandible is actually your jawbone, okay? It's the lower part of your face that holds in all your lower teeth, right? The lower part of your face that holds in your lower teeth, that's your mandible. And her mandible has a crack split under it that is consistent with being hit in the jaw with the hammer. Melissa Baldwin takes the stand. She testifies. She's a forensic science DNA specialist. Verifies her educational background. 2019, she did not do DNA analysis at the time. She only did screening, but now she is qualified to do DNA analysis as well now, even though she was the person who worked with the persons who did that. So the hammer was shown. It was white and yellow. The hammer had white and yellow paint on it and what looked like blood or dirt on the hammer from my visual, what I saw. She testified the process of swabbing and testing and how she gathered DNA evidence from the hammer, from the jeans, from the gloves that were found in the jeans pocket. She said that there was no blood on the gloves. There were latex gloves. They were worn already, and they were both torn, and they were stuffed into the pocket of the jeans. Remember, all these things were found in the garbage can in the garage where the police had searched the day before, looked, that garbage can was empty, doubled back and came back the next day with a warrant, and the garbage bag had all these things in it. The hammer, the jeans, the sweater with blood on all of them, and all that, right? Weird. Andre was looking over this time at the screen of his lawyer because he wanted to see the pictures of whatever it was they had on that screen. People were saying that it was, oh, look at him, a psychopath trying to see his handiwork. I don't know what was on the screen of his attorney that he was trying to see. So I can't say he was looking over trying to see any of that. But to get hit in the jaw with a hammer, that's a rascal. Yo, if you do your fist like this and just chip the side of your jaw, you know that's painful. So you can imagine a hammer connect when a big man swing it and slap all your jaw. Anyhow, Jamie Bomikel, she forensic scientist at Bayer County Medical Educational background. She testified. She's been doing DNA analysis for 11 years, experience under her belt. She explained how she matched the DNA sample to Andrine. She took a DNA sample from Paul Anderson, from Hyacinth Smith, and Andrine's toothbrush was turned over to them as well. First, they had to go match, like get the parents' DNA and then do a parental DNA to see if Andrine actually comes from these two people. So at this point now, I said to myself, say, Ross, if she was a jacket, Daddy would have found out today. Anyway, the DNA came back that her DNA matches the makeup of them too. If she was a jacket, they would have found out no. Probability of percentage, it's called. Her match came back greater than 99.99%. They're absolutely sure. That's the femur bone. They use the marrow from inside the femur bone now to match to whatever DNA they now found on the toothbrush once it was confirmed through testing her mother and her father to make sure that that was the same DNA to the toothbrush. Then they match it to what was in the bone marrow to say, okay, that is her body. And then they matched it to all the other places, the blood that was found in the bathroom on the thing, the blood that was found everywhere else, Pandahama, anything anywhere else, and they all matched. Over 99.99%. Me not too good at maths, but anything over 99.99% is what? All right. See that. And this is how they built Andrine's DNA profile. Then they used it to compare it to all the other things, the clothing, the hammer, the light switch, etc., etc. Whatever her blood was suspected to be, wherever her blood was suspected to be. Testifying shows all those bloods were Andrine's blood. Andrine was also tested, Andre's blood. They took a sample from him, and his DNA was also tested against all those things, the jeans, the sweater, the wall, the light switch, the hammer, everything where they found blood, and none of them matched him. All of them matched Andrine, right? He wasn't bleeding anywhere. She was the one that was bleeding all over the place. At this point, ending this is my summation of this case so far. Andre's account of Andrine's death by stomping on her has proven to be a lie. He did not tell that he beat her with a hammer, but forensic shows that she was beaten with a hammer. And the expert doctor testified that those blows, those things, injuries to the spinal cord were consistent not with stomping, but with the beating with a hammer. So, mutual fight, you say? Or were you like running down this woman and she run from part to part in the house and try save herself and you clot her with the hammer and you clot her with the hammer in her because in her back she got hit quite a few times. You understand? C6, let me see. A whole heap of cervical area of her spinal cord. That is your upper back. If I should show you from the front, it would be in this area right here. So put that to your back. And I miggle her back that, right? That's consistent with her running and getting hit in the back with the hammer. And then she probably fell and got stomped and then under her chin with the hammer. That's a more consistent story now after hearing these testimonies. Stay tuned. I will be sending the link. They start at 10 p.m., 10 a.m. today. It's 9/11. And those who have their notification on will get the link. You come join me over there and watch some of the case. All right. What if he got someone to do it like his father did? Abuse insights with Dahlia and Salmon? No, he did this. He didn't get anybody to do it. He did it. And that's where we're at. For those of you who are late or haven't been paying attention, he's already admitted to doing it, right? Everything shows that he does it. Remember, he lives in a gated community, so it wouldn't be hard for them to track back and look at the cameras and say, well, who's this person that was entering here? When did this person go out there? The only person they see making movements back and forth is him, Andre. And then they could verify everybody else, police personnel, and his chain of command people and whatever. So all evidence supports his confession that he did do it. The argument now is, was this malice murder or was this an accidental death? Like we were fighting and I got so enraged, because we fight all the time, but I got so enraged that today one of us ended up dying. Let me put it to you like this. If me and you have an argument right now, right, and you start advancing towards me and I see you come up from under your shirt and I actually see what I call a long knife and you start running towards me and I pull out and fire, bam, bam, bam. I just defended my life. I'm not going to prison. If me and you arguing and you pull out long knife and start advancing towards me and I run away, shot, you didn't catch me. Tomorrow, I hide behind a car in front of your job, and as soon as you come out of work, bam, 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 I'm going to prison. You understand? There's a difference. So in his case, was this a matter of accidental death because of a mutual fight, too heated couple members got into, or did you provoke this fight and did you beat her with the hammer? And now you're adding in, oh, she got into my face and I couldn't take it. And then we started fighting, all that extra stuff to make it seem as if you were provoked when in fact you were not. That's where that is in court right now. That's the argument. This I gotta sink him. Because this ain't nowhere friendly for him. Could have still been an argument that led to a fight, but where did you get the hammer from? And at what point of the fight did a hammer come into the fight? My hammer at my house is in my tool pan in the garage. And I would have to leave my main part of my house to go into my garage to fetch a hammer to come back in at the house to start beat my wife with the hammer there. You understand? Nobody walks around their house just swinging a hammer in their hand and oops, argument start, whack, whack, use the hammer on her. So when did you get that hammer? Because it was introduced, forensics says it. So that's where we're at today. Gonna be very interesting to see what happens today. I know for a fact he's not gonna escape this. This I take mad twists and turns. At first I said death penalty off the table. I still think death penalty is off the table. Too questionable. However, life, I don't know, just might still be on the table. And I'm saying it was off the table, but not after hearing this right here. So we have to keep watching and we'll keep reporting and we'll keep seeing how this turns out. All right. Manners and respect to each and every one of you. Big up yourself. Thank you for being here. I know my wife will go to the gym. I'm probably cutting into her gym time. And I'm going to go take my kids out for a minute and then get back to some work. And in the meantime, I'll be paying attention to this as well. All right. Big up on yourself. I'm out. Peace.